Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this month's Women United Spotlight. We are excited to highlight a Women United member each month for her to share a little bit more about her journey and give her a platform to share her expertise in her field. Today, we have two very special guests and a very exciting announcement. I want to introduce Sarah Marion, a leader who has left an empowering mark as being the chair for Women United for the last 2 years. Sarah helped build and develop Women United. Her commitment to Women United has helped build a network of over 50 local women and increase funding each year for programs that benefit local women and girls. Thank you for all of your support and encouragement, Sarah. It's really just been an honor and just a joy to work with you for the last 2 years.
Oh, well, same to you, and your words are too kind. So it's been an absolute pleasure.
And I'm excited to introduce a local trailblazer who will be helping lead Women United forward with her vision and passion, our new Women United Committee Chair, Tami Galbreath. Tami, yes.
Thank you.
Tami is a true leader in everything she does. She brings so much energy, passion, and expertise to Women United. We are so excited to welcome you as a new Women United chair. I'm really looking forward to working with you more, Tami.
Thank you, Melina. I am really looking forward to working with you, and following in Sarah's footsteps is really a gift because we can definitely learn so much from everything that she's done. And being on the board as the president, just her leadership skills are incredible. And I know I will continue to grow with Sarah being the United Way board president. So that's amazing in itself. Thank you for the introduction.
Yes, of course. Alrighty, well, I will let Tami and Sarah share a little bit more about themselves and their journeys to how they got to where they currently are today.
I'll let you go ahead and start, Sarah.
Okay, I'll try to be very concise and short and sweet here. But really, I got involved in the United Way once I started as the president and CEO of the Miatino Chamber of Commerce 7 years ago. I really had no idea what the United Way was at that point, which is embarrassing to say. But the roles that I held before the role with the chamber weren't like public facing roles. I wasn't out in the community. So I really wasn't aware of the organization. So I immediately got involved. I got on the board and I learned a lot about the agencies. I enjoyed going to the Women United breakfast that they had. That's all they had at that time were the breakfasts. And it was a lot of fun connecting with women and hearing women from the community. So from there, I've continued to serve on the board. I just recently left the chamber in the village of Miatino in my role back in March. I started my own consulting business called Athena Advisory, where I work with nonprofits and small businesses to help them with their strategic planning. I also started a women's organization called the AF Social and the AF Life, which is a group for women to socialize just without alcohol. So that's been a wonderful, incredible journey. And so throughout all of this time period, Women United has really grown. And it's been amazing to see it blossom under Melina's leadership. And I've just truly enjoyed being a part of it. So that's really kind of my short story of how I got involved with the United Way and in my story within the community.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Sarah. For me, United Way has been something my husband's always contributed financially through his workplace. But kind of like you, I didn't really know a lot about it. And I was always like, well, just make sure that the money goes back to our community. Because at times the company he works for, he would be in other parts of the country, or not the country, in the state. And my sister-in-law, actually, I don't know if y'all knew this, she used to work for United Way right out of college in Chicago. So it was really interesting. And I told her the other day, hey, by the way, I thought I'd let you know I'm the Women United chair. And she was like, oh, that's so exciting. It was fun to share that with her. So I knew about United Way, but I didn't know the depth of it. And like Sarah, I had attended multiple United Way Women United breakfasts, and they were so fun. The women that spoke at each breakfast was empowering, inspirational, amazing trailblazers in the community. And each year I just feel like it gets better. And then I think I went to an Empower Hour, or I went to something where it was Women United, and it was like a membership. I'm like, I have got to be a part of this, just because there were so many incredible women. And I know I was like one of the first people to sign up. And each time I go, it's just incredible to meet all these women. Um, and then last year at the breakfast, it also was an honor to have my daughter as one of the speakers there. Um, I'm still get like tickled and get teary-eyed knowing that she was a speaker. Um, and I was fortunate enough to be a speaker in 2020 on Zoom, which was not really very fun, but I still did it. So it's really great to have that connection with my daughter. But I just think that Women United has really grown under Sarah's leadership, and just learning about all the things that we do in our community. I mean, I just the other day was with Melina learning about KCC Alive, and something I didn't even know about. Like, there's all these programs in our community, and I thought like I actually knew a lot about programs in our community since I do a lot of volunteer work. But wow, there's more, and there's so much more that we can continue to do. And some of these small projects are just really powerful and insightful. So I'm excited for more to come.
Yeah, thank you both for sharing. So a little bit more of a personal question, well, personal and professional. So when you're making decisions, personal and professional decisions, do you have a why? And what is your why?
Well, for me, I'll go ahead and answer that first. So for me, my why is always comes back to my values. So I have a set of core values. And when I decide where I'm going to give my money, my time, and my energy, it has to align with those things. So it doesn't mean that I don't care about other organizations, or it doesn't mean that I don't think what somebody else is doing is fantastic. But like, um, when I think about like even just financially giving, right? I give the majority of my funds that I allocate budget wise to certain organizations that align with my personal values. That doesn't mean that if somebody asks me to buy a raffle ticket for something else and it's a great organization, I'm not going to. But I always come back to what's important to me, what my core values are. So when I say yes to volunteering, or I say yes to giving, or even in a work situation, if I'm being asked to do something that doesn't align with my values, I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to ask people that I lead to do things that don't align with my values as well as my vision.
That's really good, Tammy. I like how you brought up your values. That's something I think about a lot too. But as far as for my passion with United Way, as long as I can remember, I have loved volunteering. Even as a little girl, I'd beg my parents, "Can we go volunteer at, the food drive?" And I've always valued it. And so like I said, before I was in my public role at the chamber, I really didn't know much about the United Way. I struggled to find those volunteer opportunities that aligned with what mattered most to me, which is helping young women and girls in our community. And so Women United offers that really special and unique opportunity to all women, really, to get involved in volunteering opportunities. And so you don't have to go out and seek what is needed. That's the hardest part sometimes, is like finding the place that needs the volunteers. And so by being a Women United member, you have the opportunities basically like laid out for you. Like, here it is, come volunteer. And so there's nothing to think about, which, as a busy woman, and Tammy, I know you're a very busy lady, it's really important to just be able to say, okay, this is here. Okay, I'll be there. You just show up, you volunteer for a few hours of your time, and you meet new ladies in the community. So that's my why behind, really committing myself to Women United, because of the fact it's focused on women and girls, and for the fact that it's easy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Sarah. Especially, it is hard to find things to volunteer with. And Women United makes it so easy, where it is just like maybe 2 hours of your time. And you're given a date and it's either yes or no. But I mean, I've met new women at each event, and yeah, it's just great and so easy. We make it easy for us to volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you both for sharing that. You both are very involved in our community. Why is it important for you to be involved with organizations like Women United and the other groups you're involved in? Can you share an experience or story where you have witnessed the transformative power of women supporting and empowering each other?
You want
Go
All
ahead.
right, I'll go ahead first. All right. Well, for me, it's important. I think Sarah kind of alluded to it. I think we both have a passion for women and girls. Most of the organizations that I volunteer with is working with women and girls, and I just find that amazing. And I think for me, it's because in my career, I've always been in a pretty male-dominated field. And so a lot of times there wasn't mentors in my field that were women with women, or easily to make friends. Not that I can't have a male friend, but I mean just to have that that feminine support. And so I've seen where if I can support another woman in her career, even if it's different than my own, and help young girls know that they can dream big and they can do whatever they want to do, and there's always opportunities. And so that's I think that's why it's important to me.
And for me, with being involved with Women United specifically, I've been given, really, it's a gift of having so much more of an understanding of the needs in this community, because before I had no idea what agencies were right here in our county. So now I personally feel like I can be an advocate for women in need because I know I have the information. I'm so much more informed. So I've been able to see kind of the behind the scenes of some of the agencies, and that's, the same for all Women United members. When you get to do the kindness projects, you can kind of see the behind the scenes, and that's really empowering and eye-opening. And you can see what they do, and you can also see what their greatest needs are too. So even if you're not volunteering with Women United for a kindness project, maybe that's something that's really, really important to you. Like, for example, I'll just pull out like the Women's Pregnancy Resource Center. If that's something that is really close to your heart, you can volunteer with them on the side. You can create that relationship, but it was started because of Women United. So I find that's probably, the biggest impact that I've seen.
And I think what's really cool too is that as you get to understand the agencies, you can become a connector. So when you find somebody that's looking for like a resource, like you just said, the Pregnancy Resource Center, well, if you didn't know about it, that means there's lots of other women that don't know about it, And so we might run into somebody, whether it's in our career or in our church or just amongst our friends, and to be able to connect people, that's amazing. Everybody needs help at different times, and there's so many agencies in this county that can help us.
Agreed. Thank you both for sharing those powerful stories. So collaboration and networking are essential for women's empowerment and growth. How can women effectively support and collaborate with each other to amplify their voices and create meaningful change?
I love that question. That's like a lot of words in there. For me, I think it's listening. I think too often we want to talk more than we want to listen. And I'm very guilty of this. But the more that I truly listen to what other people say, I think collaboration happens better. When you can listen to another woman and hear their story, hear their journey, even if they're going through something similar to you, their journey is way different than your journey, and that's okay. There doesn't necessarily have to be a right way or wrong way. And so I think for me, it's really about listening. But I love when we connect two women going on a similar journey. I mean, I think about Sarah alluded to it, that the AF social that her and her friend Laura began. I mean, it started over I think coffee or tea or something. And when you do those kinds of collaborations with women, I mean, it's powerful. You put two women together, and it's magic. Now add 50 women in Women United, you really got magic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I have this pretty close to the same answer. When women come together, we can be so powerful and generate that change. And so I do want to say there is no reason anyone has to struggle in silence or alone. So I heard this quote on a podcast last week that it really, really, truly resonated with me in so many ways. So they said growth is a team sport. The patterns that keep us stuck grow in isolation. They perish in the bright sunlight of community. And so with that, I really feel that that can be related to Women United in the community that we've built.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could have heard this conversation or similar conversations with local women or speakers at the breakfast when I was
Last
younger.
question for you ladies.
What strategies or practices can women adapt to build self-esteem and overcome internal obstacles?
Wow. I mean, who hasn't, as a woman, had self-esteem issues, right? It's easy to say, oh, I'm confident all the time. I don't think that's true. I think we've all struggled with self-esteem issues. I think what Sarah said, like finding community, so like when you find a community, maybe you're going to be like maybe you have to do a presentation at your work for the first time, right? But if you practice in front of some other women, we're not going to like shoot you down and tell you, oh, that doesn't sound good. No, we're going to build you up and we're going to help you, give you some constructive criticism. It's finding that community. That's really, I personally think that's where self-esteem begins. Of course, you got to do some internal work. There's no doubt about that. But if you don't have other women to lean on, talk to, you're missing out. So Women United's where it's at.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I kind of answered some of these questions in my head. And it's like, again, almost exactly what you said is like, don't be afraid to reach out to a friend, join a support group. Like we all have our internal struggles, but to be able to connect with one another or just one person, it can change the whole trajectory of your life. Like they can enlighten you to something you didn't know existed. Like one little quote that they share with you could change your whole outlook. And I know that sounds crazy, but it truly can be something that's so powerful. So just connect with a group, a support group, just a person. It could make all the difference.
Yeah. And of course we want you to be part of Women United, but I mean, there's so many great organizations, so many different communities, but a community of women is powerful. We know that. I mean, look at, the two other women I have just on my screen right now,
Thank you, Tami. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for your time and for your inspiration. Let's keep on supporting each other, and we will see you next month.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Highly encourage everyone to check out Women United. And I do want to say there are price points for every budget. Like you can join Women United for $5 a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one coffee.
Yep.
One.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Thank you so much, Melina, for organizing this. This is great.
Yeah, great.
Thank you both. Bye.
Bye.